Hi, I'm John Howard, founder of Austin Professional Counseling, and I wanted to talk today about what couples therapy is, because there's a lot of ideas about what it is and what it isn't. First of all, couples therapy is a safe place where you and your partner can come to set goals together and then receive support working toward those goals. It's not like you just come in and the couples therapist tells you what needs to happen. It's really a collaborative process, and you're partly in charge. And so sometimes knowing that gives partners confidence to know that it's not going to be as intimidating as you might imagine. It's really a space where you come in and we have a conversation, and you and your partner get to decide, and maybe you've even had the conversation beforehand, what is it that we want to work on? What do we want to get better at? What are the issues that are important to us? And your therapist will weigh in on that a little bit based on what he or she is observing. But you definitely have your hand on the lever of what comes up in couples therapy and what you choose to work on. Now, another thing to know about couples therapy is some people are afraid that it's just going to be a forum where criticism goes back and forth, and it could leave you feeling worse than if you don't open up that ball of wax to begin with. And a talented couples therapist is going to prevent the session from simply being a criticism tennis match. And that's important to know because certain people fear that when they go in, their partner is going to be critical, is going to embarrass them in front of the couples therapist, is going to expose certain elements of the relationship they're not prepared to talk about. And typically what actually happens is that the therapist will slow things down, make sure that you're both on board with the topics that are coming up. And instead of allowing criticism to flow back and forth, the couples therapist is really going to challenge both of you to find common ground and to frame the goals you want to work on and then do it together. The other thing people fear in couples therapy is that the therapist will side with one partner against the other, and that you might find yourself on the losing end of an argument that you've been having with your partner for a long time about choices or perspectives or habits. And a well-trained couples therapist typically never sides with one person against the other, but rather challenges both of you to work together to keep reframing the problem until you feel like you have a collaborative process. Now, my approach to couples therapy is informed by neuroscience research. And neuroscience has really changed the field of couples therapy quite a lot. One of the changes that has occurred is that we understand now the value of practicing new relationship behaviors and skills rather than just talking about them. In the old style couples therapy, you would go in and talk to your therapist and you talk about what relationship health really looks like, and then you would go home and try to practice that with your partner. And what we've observed in newer research around couples therapy is that just talking about the issues is not enough, because it's not enough to really change habits. And so it's important to get the issues on the table and then practice new and better relationship skills so that those become habits through practice. Now, neuroscience has also changed couples therapy in another way. We understand that a lot of the behaviors we engage in, the actions and reactions we have with our partner, are actually primitive and automatic rather than really well thought through. Our partner often thinks that our behavior is choice-driven, and that can feel personal and disappointing. But more often than not, the things we do in a relationship are not really choices we make by thinking about it, but just automatic actions and reactions that we have that were actually wired in early on in our lives. A neuro-informed couples therapist, by understanding that, will help take the personal sense out of these actions and reactions and help you both understand what's at the root of these behaviors that you're experiencing. Because very often we feel afraid or threatened or anxious or stressed in our relationship, and our behavior is coming from that place. And your couples therapist can help you understand, one, what's really going on that's sponsoring those reactions, and two, how can you work together with your partner as a team in order to get better at them? Some people think that they should wait until things are really bad in their relationship before they even think about going to see a couples therapist. But the research on relationship health is really clear that most couples wait way too long before seeking support. In some parts of the world, couples go in for therapy proactively, and it's a much smarter way to go about it. So when you notice little bits of irritation in your relationship, things that aren't working, differences that are starting to become annoying, that's really the best time to go in because you have so much goodwill in the relationship and such good feeling toward each other. And we can really leverage that in the therapy process so that you're working well together on these little irritations. But if you wait too long, what happens is you come in with chronic resentment, and couples therapy can be effective for that. It's just a longer process, it's a little bit more challenging, and it's not as easy to improve a relationship that's been in a tough place for a long time. So if you've been thinking about couples therapy, don't think of it as only for couples that are really struggling. Think of it as a proactive way to work on your relationship skills, to develop better habits, to just feel more love and ease and fun with each other. Sort of like going to the gym and lifting weights and doing some cardio every now and then so that you keep your body healthy. That's the right way to look at it. Thank you for watching this video on what is couples therapy. I hope that I've defined it in a way that gives you a better sense of what it will be like to come in and experience couples therapy. And it's typically something that's helpful for most couples because you learn some things you might not have thought of, and you learn a little bit more about your partner in terms of what's really underneath their actions and behaviors in relationship. I'll see you in the next video.